Am I the a-hole for telling my roommate I don't cook food she likes because I don't cook for her? I, 21M, and my girlfriend, Emily, 20F, live together with a roommate, Alice, 31F. We all contribute equally to our monthly house food meant for everyone, not one specific person, budget. We can still have our own food, and as long as we communicate so nobody eats someone else's food. A couple weeks ago, I made myself and Emily some spaghetti with the house food. Just noodles and generic brand canned sauce, nothing fancy. Quick and easy, because I was feeling lazy. Alice was at work until late that night, and myself and my GF ended up finishing all the spaghetti. When Alice came home, she saw the dirty pot in the sink and made a comment about being sad there was none saved for her. I asked if she wanted me save some for her next time I made it, but she didn't really give me a straight answer. I got the feeling she wanted me to though, so I made a mental note to do that next time I made spaghetti and moved on. A few days later, I made some pork chops. Again, nothing fancy. Emily wasn't hungry and didn't eat her portion, so I offered it to Alice when she came home. She accepted, however when she put the food in the microwave to warm it she made a face as the smell hit her. She tried not to let me see, but I could tell she wasn't thrilled. She took the food into her room to eat, which isn't unusual for her, so I don't know if she finished it or what. Since then, whenever we're in the kitchen together and I'm cooking, she's been kind of hovering over my shoulder and trying to give me advice on how to season my food. And honestly, sometimes it's good advice. I'm one of those people who views cooking as a constant learning thing, so I don't mind taking suggestions. However, she gave me an attitude whenever I didn't do something how she wanted or liked. It was always subtle and unspoken, until yesterday. I was making spaghetti again. When I make spaghetti, I keep the noodles and sauce separate, so everyone can choose how much sauce they want. Alice has seen me make spaghetti before, but this time she said I made it the white people way. I feel it is important to note that she is also white. She said I should mix the sauce in, and I told her that wasn't how I make it. She told me that she liked it better when it was pre-mixed, and here's where I maybe went too far. I told her I don't care how she likes it, because I wasn't cooking it for her. I told her that when I cook, mine and my GF's preferences are the only things I consider, because the food is being made for us, not for her. If she doesn't like it, she has her own food to make, and there is nothing stopping her from eating that. She got all huffy and stormed off, and later on Emily said my tone came off a bit angry. I wasn't angry, I was just stating a fact, but maybe there was a way to put it more gently? I don't know. I'm told that I can sometimes come off as an asshole without meaning to, that I have one of those resting faces that makes me look angry all the time even when I'm not. So, am I the a-hole? Clarification on the AITA post, July 22, 2024, 6 hours later. Hey, so I posted and then fucked off for a bit, and the post sorta blew up. So I wanted to pop in and clear up a few things. The subreddit has a character limit that had me really pressed trying to fit in what I thought was the most relevant info, so I'm sorry that not everything was super clear. That's my bad. One common misconception was that I was only using house food for the spaghetti, so allow me to clarify. The noodles were house food, but the sauce was a specific, albeit generic, brand that I prefer to buy, so it was my food. Our house food mainly consists of staples like pasta, bread, eggs, milk, etc. Things which are easily customizable to suit each person's tastes. The pork chops I mentioned were also my food. Another thing was that people seemed to be assuming that I was cooking her portion of the pasta, considering she would have technically paid for 1/3 of it. I can sort of see where this is coming from, but this was brought up back when she first moved in, and we agreed that figuring out thirds like that when it comes to this just complicates things further. We operate under a "if you cook it, it's yours" mentality. So the pasta that I made was not half hers and half mine, it was just mine. This system has worked for us for over a year, and I sort of doubt that's the root of the problem. Also, with the first spaghetti meal mentioned, I made enough for 2 people. Me and my girlfriend, that's it. I did not make 3 portions. The second time, after I figured out she wanted some, I made 3 portions since she would be eating with us. I don't know why people assumed I was making more than I needed, but then again it's the internet and I bet some people are really just like that, so it's not like I can blame y'all. All that said, the answer I saw most often was that a discussion about the food budget needed to be had and things needed to be properly split between the three of us, and while I'm on the fence, I do think it's worth bringing up with Emily and Alice. So that's probably what I'm gonna do. I am gonna give Alice a bit more time to calm down though, since she still seemed cold when she left for work earlier. Final update, July 23, 2024. Alright, figured y'all should get one last update before I vanish off the face of the earth. Myself, Alice, and Emily all sat down together last night after Alice got off work. I brought up what happened the other night with the spaghetti and explained how I saw things. To sum up what I said, I told her that while I appreciated her help sometimes in the kitchen since she had more experience than me, I didn't understand her insisting on something as small as stirring the sauce in or not, when she could simply stir the sauce in herself on her own plate. I was mindful of my tone and my wording this time around, and I think that helped. After I had said my piece, Alice let out a long sigh and apologized. She explained that she had a long day at work that day, and when she came home she was pretty moody, and ended up taking that out on me. She said that growing up her family always mixed in the sauce, and she had never actually eaten it the other way, so when she saw something she perceived as new her brain just kind of flipped out about it. I told her I understood, and I apologized for maybe coming off more annoyed than I actually felt. I also took this opportunity to explain to Alice why I eat spaghetti this way. My older sibling has autism and is an incredibly picky eater, and when we were kids, they would refuse anything that wasn't plain buttered noodles. So the separation of noodles and sauce was our family's way of accommodating them, and I guess it just sort of stuck with me since it's how I grew up. She said that it made sense, and I told her if it really mattered I could stir her portion of the pasta when she's having a rough day. She smiled and said it's not necessary, but I heard this tone in her voice again, so I think I'm going to do it anyway and see how she responds. Since so many people seemed confused or concerned about the house food system, I decided to bring that up and ask if it was in any way relevant to this. She said no, that she really didn't mind the system we have. She said it probably would have happened no matter what I had made, since in her mind right then anything that wasn't made her way was wrong. Emily also agreed that as of right now our house food system is working, and neither of them saw a reason to change it. After that we just kinda hung out in the living room for a while, talking about weirdly specific food preferences we have in the same vein as stirred spaghetti. Turns out we're all picky about some random food item and it only makes sense to us. Like, I'll only eat hot dogs if they're not made with actual hot dogs, but polished sausage. And it has to have mustard. Not sure if it's then called something else, and honestly, don't care. Not the point. Point is, our strange and specific food preferences can be accommodated more often than not. Except Emily putting ranch dressing on her spaghetti. I love her, but some crimes can never be forgiven. Like and follow for more.